empowering a woman of any shades. Are you a woman of diverse experiences, ready to turn your personal journey into a thriving business? You are in the right place. Join us on this podcast journey where we celebrate the power of your story, regardless of your background or shade. Our episodes are a testament to the fact that every woman holds the potential to spark innovation and inspire success. Ladies, your story matters, and business. Empowering Women's Stories is here to amplify your voice, regardless of your shade. It is a podcast that celebrates the new journey of your entrepreneurship, providing that your personal story is your greatest asset. Contact the podcast manager today and listen. Speak up, girl. Good morning, everybody. Empowering a woman of any shades. And I have a treat for you today because Dr. Maureen McIntoch-Albert, a PhD from Virginia. She will be here with us today. Through the conversation today, I'm sure Dr. McIntosh will show and talk to us about everything that she has been going through and also all the education and wisdom, basically from God, because our divine Holy Spirit is the one that guides us. Good morning, Maureen. How are you today?
Well, how are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about it.
How I got here meaning the United States, or here meaning how I got here in my life?
In your life, because this is all about empowering women of any shades, and they need to know that where you are today, it was not always like that. And I understand that we go through, tribulations and tests in life. And I just want to know how you got to this part of your life.
How did I get to this part of my life? Well, let's start off with saying that I grew up in the Caribbean, in Grenada. That's in the West Indies. It's a very small island with, actually Grenada has 3 islands, and one of them, Carriacou. I'm sure a lot of your listeners probably don't know about, have never heard of Carriacou. Carriacou is a very small island, 13 square miles.
Oh, wow.
And right now it probably has about 4,000 or 5,000 people living on the island. Very lovely island, lovely beaches, beautiful people, very unspoiled still today. And lots of expatriates now are going there to occupy that island. But when I was growing up, I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother, she taught me, one of the things that she passed on to me is her faith. Her faith and the ability to be resourceful. And because of that resourcefulness, what it really means is that you hear a lot of people saying they don't have money to do this and they can't do this because opportunities are not open up to them. If they had the opportunity, if they had the money, if they had somebody to help them. 2 things my grandmother said to me: with faith in God and resourcefulness, you're able to accomplish, and of course, with good health, you're able to accomplish anything in life. And because of that, I am here. Out of the faith, out of the resourcefulness came resilience, and out of resilience came the ability to be able to transform pain into purpose. Pain meaning the challenges, the adversities, the transitions of life, the seasons of life. They all are going to show up in our lives. And she taught me that when they show up, that I need to transform them into purpose, because that's what God is giving me in order for me to know that He has put inside of me potential. But in order for the potential to come out, so that we can become the best and highest version of ourselves. So with that, armed with those tools in my toolkit, I was ready to approach life.
Well, let me tell you, I know that you were very blessed, first of all, because you have a family with a foundation. and you have a grandma or family just having your back and covering you with those wisdom that they have, and also showering you with blessings. And one of the blessings that you have in life was learning that faith is an action, that we need to move into it. However, even though when we have faith, because the spirit lives in this body, we always go into kind of like the egocentric or legalism part of us. Did you ever feel fear while you were growing up? And how do you accomplish to understand fear, and how do you use it to move forward?
Fear is a gift. Fear is one of the gifts that we have been given. I read a book once called The Gift of Fear. I don't know of anybody who doesn't have fear. If I tell you that I didn't have fear, I would be lying to you. But fear comes to warn us that there is danger. Fear comes to tell us that we're not yet prepared to accomplish, to take on something. So when fear comes, it brings a message to us that we're not ready, that we're not sufficiently prepared. So what do we do with that message? We look at the what is presented before us that is causing us the fear, and we ask ourselves, is this fear real? Because if it is, how do we know whether it's real? Like, for example, if you ask me to come on this podcast, and I start telling myself, well, I can't speak. Can I speak? Yes, I have an English tongue in my mouth, right? So what are you going to ask me? You're going to ask me, you wouldn't ask me about how to go to the moon. You wouldn't ask me about how to build a rocket. You're simply asking me, tell you how I got here. So when that fear comes, you ask yourself, whatever the fear is telling you, is it true? Is it real? If it is not real, and we need to be able to coach ourselves, right? Because there were questions my grandmother would ask me about things when I tell her, oh, well, if I told her that I was afraid, she would ask me, what are you afraid about? So I would always ask myself, what are you afraid about? So one of the things, you asked me how I got to where I am. We had no money. I slept on rags on the floor. We had no running water. That's the story of a lot of women. We had no electricity. We had no TV. We had no anything, but we did have love. And we were taught how to take the resources around us. For example, I will tell you, my grandmother grew up and she had 2 second-grade education, but she looked around her and she was able to see the resources that God has put around each one of us. There was wood in the forest. There were stones in the hills. The government was looking for stones to repair the road. We had buckets. I could go, the men were digging the stones out from the quarries. There were little bits and pieces of stones that were left behind. I could go in the afternoon and I could take the stones, put it in the bucket, make 10 or 15 trips back and forth to the quarry, put it on the street. The government truck came, got the truckload. It took me about 2 months to get a truckload. It didn't matter because I was a little girl and everybody was doing it. And then I got $14 for the truckload. My school fees were $13 a term. I could pay for my own high school fees.
Wow.
There were people in the village that were coming from Aruba. They needed somebody to iron their clothes. They needed somebody to sweep their houses and to make up their beds. I was able, because I have 2 hands, I could sweep, I could make up beds, and they could pay me what, $10. And that was put aside for my high school education. So people talk about not having resources. No, it's a question of how resourceful you are. But to answer your question, fear is a gift. It gives you 2 messages. You're ready or you're not ready. And if you're ready, then you analyze whether you're ready to take on this challenge. And if you are, then even if you're afraid, like somebody would say, do it afraid. Do it afraid, because when you're in the doing, more gifts come. More of the potential within you is opened up. And did I know that? No, looking back, I can say that is in the actual doing of things because you're afraid. But you'll find, for example, a mentor. I had mentors. She always got me mentors. I didn't know it was mentors at the time. I didn't know. She would find someone who would teach me. I didn't know how to eat with a knife and fork. She sent me to a home of people who ate with knives and forks. We ate with spoons, but she said, I'm preparing you for a different life, because life is going to be different for you when you leave this island. You have to know how to dress properly. You have to know how to speak properly. You have to know how to walk properly. All of these little social skills, she prepared me for life. So I have to say to you, yes, we don't have everything that we need, but we have enough. And that's what she showed me. And this is how I got from primary school. She always got me mentors. She always got me teachers. She would pay them with 2 eggs and send them something that she had, because she didn't have money, but she had fowls. She would give me a chicken and take that to the person and tell them, teach you, help you with your homework. You see what I mean by resourcefulness?
Yes. Let me go back a little bit, because you say something that I did not learn when I was growing up. I grew up out of nationalities, Puerto Rican and Cuban, so I'm half and half. And to tell you the truth, my parents were clueless how to raise children. They were just doing what everybody was doing. They were going behind the rat race, and they just wanted to be famous and glorious in front of people. But one of the things that I noticed about my parents was they were very prideful to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it made me feel like they were ashamed to others to find out that they did not know that area that they were asking for help. So I find out myself growing up doing the same thing. Only now when I am an adult is when I do understand that if I am clueless on some areas of my life, it's time to ask. Have that mentor, have that light, have that person that will have your back. And it's always somebody out there that, if we are genuine, will help us. I would like, Dr. Maureen, for you to talk. My heart is burning today, and lately when I'm doing the podcast, the Holy Spirit is bringing me to my attention different needs that need to be taught. This person that is listening to this podcast today is suffering from self-esteem. She thinks that she's nobody. She thinks that she's ugly, not well managed, not well educated. And we all have gifts and talents that are given to us by our God, our Creator. What tools, and don't give me too many, because when people, I understand, with all the respect that you deserve, when I was in that area of my life, I couldn't just take everything at once. But I would like you to open, like I always tell my guests, your toolbox and talk to this woman that is listening to this podcast today about the way she feels and how she can get out of it. What kind of tools, maybe 1 or 2, you can give her so she can start valuing herself and knowing that she's one of a kind. When she passed, will never be one just like her, because God was very specific to give us gifts and talents to unique and custom-made people that He made here on earth to deliver that gift and talents. Tell that woman today that is suffering for that.
You gave part of the answer already. You said that God has created us unique, but you believe that. Exactly. That's a belief system that you have.
So how can she believing on that?
Belief is not something you can teach. You can't teach belief system. You can't teach mindset. The only thing you can ask that woman is, what you're believing about yourself, is it true? Is it really true?
Talk to her, Dr. Maureen. Talk to her right now. I'm sure that somebody out there is going to listen to you.
Well, yeah. So if you're out there and you believe that you are not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you should be white instead of black, or you should be black instead of white, you should be a woman instead of a man, all these things. There are two things I would say to you. There's some things that you can't change, right? So differentiate between the things that you can change and the things that you can't change. If you're a woman, well, let's not go into the gender part because that is very controversial. But wherever you are and whatever you're believing about yourself, you ask yourself, is it really true? If you're not good enough for what and good enough for who? And what is it you want to get good at? Because if you wanted to get good at something, then you ask yourself, who is it that can help me? Who can I go to? Because you just said, well, your parents, when they didn't have a skill or they didn't have a resource, they asked for help. So if you want, whatever you want to become in this life, you have to believe that there are people that are willing to help you. And once you're armed with that belief system, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. And believing in yourself, then I would say the first lesson is, do you believe that there is a God? Do you believe that there is a God and that He created you? And that's where your belief starts. And everything else comes from that because He's the source of all things. He created everything and everyone. That's why it's so hard to teach belief, because you have to start from what people believe. And if they don't believe there is a God and they're dependent on themselves, well, then they start looking at themselves to see whether they're good enough, smart enough. But if you believe there is a God, whatever it is that you need, you go to the source, because He is the source of all things. And He is the one that communicates through the Holy Spirit. No human being can communicate to us who we are. It is the voice within you. That's why I wrote this book, Live Your Life from the Inside Out, by unlocking.
Dr. Maureen, keep it on the screen. So this woman that is listening to you today, I'm sure that this book will change her life forever. Absolutely. I do bring to these interviews people that are equipped, people that have the wisdom, and people that are being touched by the Holy Spirit, and they are used through the Holy Spirit to help people like us. And I say us because we are all here in one way or the other: financials, health, relationships. We always find a place to ask for help, and this is what Dr. Maureen do. Dr. Maureen, talk about this book, and also let's get to the part that if this girl or this woman is listening to this podcast, how can you help her, and where to get the information or the contact? Even though that I'm going to put her in the description, all this, I would like you to tell them what do you do and why you're doing it for this particular issues.
Yeah. So I live my life under the direction and the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And without Him, I would be able to accomplish nothing. Right. So I am a leadership coach, and I work with women who believe that they have a divine potential and a divine calling, and they need someone to guide them and to hold them accountable for becoming the best and highest version of themselves, whatever that is, in whatever field. But I work with women who are serious about living them and maximizing their potential. Women who are ready to say enough is enough. I've been stuck here in this place for too long, and I know I can't do this by myself. There has to be somebody out there who can show me. So I'm a trusted guide, a mentor, and a coach, certified by Georgetown University, having a PhD from Johns Hopkins University in behavioral science. My PhD is in behavioral science, which is a realm of psychology. It's industrial psychology. And what I do is I help people to go deep inside, help them to clarify, to get in touch with their potential, to clarify what God has called them here to do, to clarify who God has called them to serve. What is their mission? I help them to craft their mission statement, their vision, all of that. And if they want to design anything, get into business, get into starting a nonprofit, whatever it is that they feel God has called them to do, and they need someone to help them, that is what I do. But that person must want to impact lives, because if you're doing it without a vision and without a purpose, then I won't be able to work with you. But if you know that you're special and God has called you here to do something special, and you want clarity and you want someone to hold you accountable, you want to join a group of thought leaders who will hold you accountable, whose only desire is to hold the mirror up to you and challenge you to be able to keep accountable to the goals that you will set for yourself. By the end of 2024, you would say that this has been an outstanding year for me.
My goodness, I'm going to tell you, Dr. Maureen, I was ready to write a book about living from the inside out. Because I'm a product of self, not being prideful saying it, but I didn't have mentors. I didn't have anybody that had my back. I didn't have anybody that would teach me what I know. And when I took myself apart and I said, God, if you are the creator and you are my source, I need you to speak to my heart. And that's what I learned, to live from the inside out. And one of my mentorees are the first chapter of my mentoring, the coaching, is about discovering self, not discovering self. This is just a body that we need to guide our spirit to where we're going. Otherwise, we don't have transportation. But discovering self as who live in you, you live in him, and who live in the Father. Because Dr. Maureen, I want a copy of that book, by the way. I'd like to purchase that book. I would like to read that book. And I would like you girls today, it is a little sad sometimes when we would like to continue a conversation so deeply needed, because it's rooted actually in what is going to stand us on the rock.
Amen.
Meaning solid foundation. I will not be here 17 years ago. I would have been gone.
Yes.
From suicide. But I'm here. I am not a millionaire. I'm content. What God want to use me for, I am here. I'm a vessel. And Dr. Maureen, I met this woman in person in New Jersey when I was given the award of third place for that competition, a speaking competition.
Yes,
and
that I remember very well.
And I saw with my eyes, and I felt the impression and her energy and her posture, her language was from the divine. I was watching you, Dr. Maureen, when I was there in person. I would love to be able to communicate the way you do.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Closely, so encouraging, but you don't rush anything. I don't know how to explain that. It has to be coming from the bigger source that is the divine, the one that connects from us. I really do want to read that. Excuse me, that book. I just want to tell anybody out there, empowering women of any shades. We only have short time in here. It doesn't mean I'm going to bring Dr. Maureen back, because I will. I bring all my interviewers, my guests back.
Thank you. I'd love to come back.
I would love you to come back, and I would love for you to encourage, and you need to call Dr. Maureen. This person will make you feel in peace when she speaks. I can feel the wisdom coming out of her heart. And I'm not saying this because I have her in front of me. I met this woman in person. In the description below, you're going to have all her information. But I would like you to show that book again, but also the other book that you were award author. Yes.
Transforming pain into purpose.
I'm telling you, yes. Tell me just a little bit about it, and I will put that also in the description below.
I spoke a lot about the book, but here's what this book is about. It's about the pain. It's about the deaths that you have experienced. It's about the businesses that you've lost. It's about the marriages that broke up, and I've had 3 marriages. It's about the transition from one geographical location to the other. It's about the death of that child. All of this in this book is power-packed with life-transforming stories of 15 women who are sharing their heart and telling you how pain is a gift from God, and you can use that pain. Without pain, there is no purpose. There is purpose in every pain. If you want to know the purpose in your pain, contact me, and I will show you how you can leverage your pain and turn it into purpose and add value to people and be able to be influential, be impactful, and at the same time monetize your story so that you will be able to have an income. Your story, your experience is the best gift that you have been given. So valuable. That's what we talk about. And right now I'm looking for people. I'm looking for at least 5 people who are telling me, Dr. Maureen, I have a story to tell. I have lives that I can impact. Let's come and join me in the 2nd volume of Transforming Pain into Purpose.
We need to contact today Dr. Maureen. But I'm telling you, girls, get up from that couch, go take a shower, do your makeup, or not makeup. You don't need none of that. You're beautiful the way you are, but if that's going to make you feel better, just go ahead and do it. Take that coffee, put her in the portable one, and go and take a walk in nature. Go and meet the power of the Holy Spirit that we see all the way around creation. And I'm exhort you today. I know that if you are hurting today from self-esteem, I would like you to contact Dr. Maureen. We are all here working together. Together, we create a power that nobody can destroy. But individually, we have the power. We have what we takes. Is just a need to be discovered.
Yes.
I exhort you to call Dr. Maureen today, and I will say a prayer for you. My prayers always come from victory, and I do know that God see you from victory. Don't let this world, this monopoly out there, get you in a trance, because you choose to play that game if you want to. Otherwise, you will have a lot of problems if you play that. But if you flow like a river down the stream with what the Holy Spirit have for you, I guarantee you it's not falling apart again. And it doesn't mean that you will have trouble and tribulations. Yes, but that roller coaster become a little bit more inclined to be in victory, that being in the dip down and stay down there with depression for weeks, months, and years. Tools are needed. You have a mentor here with Dr. Maureen. I appreciate you so much. We had to cut it off, but I invite you back. I love you so much.
Oh my goodness.
I want you to know that this home, Empowering Women of Any Shades, is a platform that you can use to reach out to others.
Oh my goodness. You have touched my heart. You have touched my heart. You have blessed me so much this morning. I have tears in my eyes because I can feel the power of the Holy Spirit operating through us right now, even though we are so many miles apart from each other. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share. I love you with all my heart, I do, and thank you for the gift.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
Yes, ma'am.
Empowering a woman of any shades. Are you a woman of diverse experiences, ready to turn your personal journey into a thriving business? You are in the right place. Join us on this podcast journey where we celebrate the power of your story, regardless of your background or shade. Our episodes are a testament to the fact that every woman holds the potential to spark innovation and inspire success. Ladies, your story matters, and so does your business. Empowering Women's Stories is here to amplify your voice, regardless of your shade. It is a podcast that celebrates the new journey of your entrepreneurship, providing that your personal story is your greatest asset. Contact the podcast manager today and listen. Speak up, girl.